Good morning, everyone. Today's Friday, June 30th, MD Noble Weekly episode number 2 with Christian Duque. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome our brand new sponsor, IronMagLabs.com. They have everything, natural supplements, pro hormones, PCT. Check them out today at IronMagLabs.com. On today's show, we're going to be talking about so much. Greene and the special invitation to the Olympia. I answer Sugar Shawn Ray from the MD Noble forums. We're going to talk about the Chicago Pro. We're going to talk about the Team Universe. We're going to talk about the phenom that is Regan Grimes. And of course, industry news and happenings. Next. All right, let's talk about Greene. In a very rare instance, IFBB Pro League President Mr. Jim Manion, in an interview with the legendary Peter McGuff, offered Greene a special invitation to compete at this year's Mr. Olympia. Bypassing the rules, Kai wouldn't have to requalify. All Kai would have to do is accept or decline. Now, almost immediately, we heard that Kai would not be doing the Mr. Olympia, but not from Greene, but from Louis Marco, a YouTube star who has grown very close to Kai, who, according to Louis, Kai has offered to fly out to New York on his own dime to interview him. Now, Louis is saying that Kai might do it, that the IFBB needs him, that if Kai does it, they have to, quote-unquote, give him the Olympia. And if they don't, it would be outrageous. The reality of the matter is that the Mr. Olympia is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. And while having Kai would make it a great event, it doesn't need any one single bodybuilder. And also, when the president of the IFBB Pro League makes you an offer, when it's Jim Manion, who's given his life to growing bodybuilding and fitness, growing the NPC, give that man the respect that he deserves and answer him, Kai. Let's not have another, episode where, we don't know what you're going to do. If you're going to do it, the way to do it is you sign a contract, you submit it, and Weider AMI accepts it. That's how it's done. But that's not how I think you're going to do it. All right, let's talk about Shawn Ray. Now, he's posted a few times on the MD Noble forums demanding that I concede defeat as to a video I made last year. Now, last year he made some comments I took exception with, so I made a video calling him out. Let's talk about some of the points he raised and where I stand today. Number one, he said that Kevin Levrone coming back was a mistake, that it would hurt his legacy. I don't really agree with that. He came back. I was at the Pittsburgh Pro, where he accepted the special invite from Mr. Jim Manion. He got on stage at the Olympia. Wasn't his best look, of course not, but he got on stage, and I think he's more popular than ever. So I don't really agree there. Number two, he said that Kevin Levrone would place dead last. I thought that was crazy. I was like, you're crazy. He could even win. Shawn, you were right about that. Number three, he said his legs, he wouldn't be able to bring them up. You're right about that. Number four, he said that the physical therapy would be too much and that it wouldn't be a real prep. You were right about that too. So Shawn was right and I was wrong. But in my defense, I have always been a Kevin Levrone fan. And I believed in my heart then as I do now. And I guess I'm guilty of that. Bodybuilding returns to the Windy City this weekend. IFBB Chicago Pro, Tim Gardner's Wings of Strength. Speaking of Tim Gardner, I really want to recognize this great promoter for single-handedly bringing back women's bodybuilding that is so huge for the sport. Now, speaking of the Chicago Pro, there's some names there that I seriously cannot help but bring up on this great show. I'm talking about the one and only Michael Lockett, who I think may just win this show. Also, Mr. Canada, Paulo Almeida, the freak. This guy is huge. He's larger than life. He's from Team 5%, Rich Piana's team, and he's bringing it. I don't mean the Tim Hortons. I mean the ass-kicking. And also, Regan Grimes, we'll be talking about next. And let's not forget the tank, Charles Dixon in the 212. Be very, very afraid of anyone that is known as the tank. Let's move over to one of my two favorite pro qualifiers, the 2017 NPC Team Universe being celebrated this weekend. Now, a lot of people just cannot believe that I prefer the Team Universe and the North Americans to the USAs and the Nationals, and I'll tell you why. First of all, with the North Americans, you're going up against Mexicans and Canadians as well. With the Team Universe, though, which I think is probably my favorite, the overall winners go on to the World Games representing the United States. How cool is that for the NPC's most important tested bodybuilding and fitness event? Also, Brian Hoydick, TC Muscle, this guy's sending an army to the Team Universe. Some of the best athletes in Northern Ohio, throughout the country as well. Brian Hoydick is going to kick some major ass. Be on the lookout for TC Muscle. Be on the lookout for all of the great natural athletes that will be at the Team Universe. And I say natural because look at my friend R.D. Caldwell Jr. won the overall in 2014 completely naturally. So it can be done. You just got to want it bad enough. 24 years old? Seriously? With that physique, with those proportions, with that symmetry, with that attention to detail? Regan Grimes has everything he needs to be a bodybuilding great. And one of the most important attributes that he has is what's between his ears and what's in his heart, because he's not playing the size game. It's not a race to him. He does not want to disrupt the aesthetics of his physique. I think that is like something that you would hear from a 35, 40, 50-year-old. I mean, he's so ahead of the game. This is why people like Jay Cutler see so much promise in him. I got to meet him. I didn't really get to talk to him as much as I would have wanted to, because I met him at the BPI booth at the Arnold Classic. My good friend Chris McKenzie works there. He's the VP of sales, and me and him have been friends for years. So whenever I go to the booth, you know, I see Jay, I see Jess, I saw Dave Burley, all great people, but I really go there to talk to Chris. He's my bro, you know what I mean? But the point is I saw Regan there, and my gosh, man, there's a great photo that I showed to Steve, who I believe then asked Ron to post it. Ron did a great Ronline report that you should definitely check out with Regan, and he just talks about everything. And one of the things I really love about the Ronline report, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, you know what I mean? It doesn't have the 3 clocks, the time in New York City, Beijing, and Madrid, but it has great content, and that's really what matters. So make sure to check out Ronline Report, and definitely keep your eyes on Regan Grimes at the IFBB Chicago Pro Wings of Strength, because he might win the whole damn thing. Time for industry news and happenings. First and foremost, IFBB figure superstar Antatone, who is also a national judge and a promoter of 10 contests, is offering a 16-week prep in a contest that only involves you sending her an email to antatone@gmail.com by July 1st, explaining why you compete, why you love the sport, and any adversity you have overcome. Also, Dan Solomon from Digital Muscle released a very powerful video thanking Mr. Olympia Jay Cutler for all of his great work and their great friendship. Ronnie Coleman's little brother has released a book, Strength Through Struggle, that's available at Amazon. Be sure to check that out. Also, Phil Heath is releasing all of his live workouts through an app called This Is Collide, where users buy credits and can watch the greatest bodybuilder in the world train. I'd also like to announce that our show is moving to Wednesday. Better ratings, more people will see it. It'll be great right in the middle of the week, so be sure to check out MD Noble Weekly every Wednesday at musculardevelopment.com. Also, be sure to log on to the MD Noble forums. Everything is going on there. We even have the director of forums from RX Muscle posting religiously. So you also post there, and don't miss a beat, because everything that's happening in bodybuilding is happening at Muscular Development. See you next week.